I'm Al Simpson. Welcome, everyone. As you can see, we've sort of had to have alternate arrangements and alternatives for this affair this afternoon. But I'm finding it sort of typical to the way the last year and a half has been for everyone, including the camp organization. It seems you have to move and adapt on a constant basis. So maybe it's fitting. I am the co-chair of the organizing committee with Heather Grundy, who's here. I'd like to acknowledge Heather back here, who has done a great job helping to organize both this afternoon and the rest of our weekend. We'll be running an open house tomorrow and a dedication service in the new building on Sunday afternoon. So first I would like to begin with an acknowledgement of our land. We acknowledge our presence on the ancestral lands governed by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum between the Haudenosaunee Confederacy and the Anishinaabe Nation. So we're going to, as I said, try and be relatively quick and go from there. So I'm going to call immediately to the mic here our current president and chair of the board, David Duffus. David has been on our board for several years, including several as the treasurer, and has just this year become the president of the board. David?
I'm going to give applause. Thank you, Al. Welcome, everyone. This is a joyous time, especially for those of our board who have been here for 10 years. Our new hall was ready in March of 2020, just in time to be closed by COVID. And camp has been here for 70 years. It changes the lives of campers and counselors. And in 2021, we were happy to welcome back summer day camp with 413 kids and a rental week to an outside group for camp. And we look forward to 2022 with more banquets and gatherings in our hall, plus camp, overnight and day camp. I'd like to introduce some past presidents who are here of our board. Karen Francis, she was a head counselor and she's now a vice principal at school. And David Pritchard, he's a minister, and he was the guy at the gate giving you the COVID check. And then Alex Salette. He was a head counselor, and then he's now a teacher. And he was the one who set the idea for a year-round building. And Carolyn Hoxie, who's not here today, but she's the one who turned it into a building project instead of just an idea. And my predecessor, David Reed. Reverend David Reed. And I'm going to name some of the people with long tenure on our board throughout the past 10 years. Don Martindale's not here. He's perhaps the longest. And Carolyn Duffus. Floating around. And David Pritchard, he held his hand up. And Elizabeth Agnew. And Madeline Hoxie. The last three are honorary lifetime members, but the name Hoxie is all around camp. You'll see Neil and Madeline had a lot to do with Hoxie Hall 30 years ago. I'm going to name some recognition for our builders, Harper Construction, Bill and Debbie Harper, brother and sister. And Jack Harper Construction built Hoxie Hall 30 years ago. Also, I'd like to recognize Lou Mark Antonio. Lou is our architect at 2M Architects. Some of our major donors I want to thank are the Dick Armstrong family, the United Church of Canada, who we'll hear more from, the Rotary Club. We have several Rotarians here, but I call out particularly the past president, Sue Foster. She was president when we had the donation. And also on my left, Brenda Belcotwa, who's the current president. And there will be a donor recognition event in 2022 because there are many, many donors we want to thank. Within the United Church of Canada, Horseshoe Falls region, we have here today Diane Viney and Cheryl Ann Stedelbauer Sampa. Diane is the chair of Mission and Development, and Cheryl Ann is the executive minister for like 150, actually she has 3 regions, so she's probably like 500 churches.
So that's actually correct.
Yeah. And we thank them for being with us today, and now I turn it back over to Al.
Thanks, David. At this point, I'd like to ask Cheryl Ann, who David has just introduced, to come forward and say a few words on behalf of the church. Cheryl Ann?
Congratulations to the Cave Springs Board for this amazing new construction. I bring you greetings and blessings today from the president of Horseshoe Falls Regional Council, Reverend Robert Lawson. He has pastoral duties conducting a funeral for a member of his parish, so he's unable to be here. In his place, Diane and I are both pleased to be here and to celebrate with you. And while I have the opportunity to work with multiple congregations, as you just heard, I also have the opportunity to work with multiple camps. More and more, I've come to realize that our United Church camps are the critical place for faith formation because children have inconsistent patterns of church attendance in many different cities. So this is a place where for an entire week they can grow in faith as they experience the wonder and beauty of God's creation. So for the important part that Cave Springs is playing in nurturing people in a faith we hope will equip them and guide them through life, we thank you, and we will continue to hold you in prayer and be pleased to work with you in partnership in ministry.
Thank you, Cheryl Ann. Next, I'd like to acknowledge some of our dignitaries that have joined us today. Firstly, we've received a couple of regrets from Lincoln Mayor Sandra Easton, who advised that she had to attend to a family matter this afternoon, and also from Dean Allison, the MP for Niagara West for the last 17 years, has provided regrets as well because of a conflict. He had really hoped to be here. We had really hoped to have him, as he was one of the assisting forces in some of our original funding that started the rebirth of the camp into where we're headed now, with getting us coordinated to receive some federal infrastructure funding back in 2014, which allowed for the development of the septic system. Now to acknowledge those who are here. Firstly, Lincoln Regional Councilor, and again, we've heard the name Rotary, Lincoln Rotarian Rob Foster. Rob. As you know, there's a Foster connection up here. Previously being acknowledged was Sue Foster, who's the immediate past president of the Lincoln Rotary, and was part of the group that put forward significant funds to help us, and the main hall in the building is named in behalf of the Rotary. Then we've got Regional Chair Bradley, who has agreed to join us this afternoon. Jim? And next, and I would like to acknowledge and then invite up here our Niagara West MPP for province since 2016, Sam Oosterhoff. Sam is appropriate as the local representative, and we've actually been working with him recently, and I'm going to let Sam explain to you what he has helped organize with the Ontario Trillium Foundation, additional funds for the camp in the immediate future. Sam?
Thank you very much, Al. It's a great honor and privilege to be able to be here. You can always tell there's going to be a few politicians who are going to be getting up and speaking when the MC ensures multiple times to remind people that the remarks are going to be brief today. So I think that's a duly noted point, and I will ensure that I follow that. I want to thank you all for being here and for playing such a key role in the development of today's grand opening. It's such an important date, and it's also one that I know has had so many different partners who have come together. We see a number of names here from the Rotarians, of course, but also from the United Church, from so many individuals, too many to count, I think, today to be able to share. But the amount of people who have come together and recognized the beauty and the value of this place and being able to ensure an important experience for young people. I actually had the opportunity to volunteer some years ago now as a camp counselor at a Bible camp in Northern Ontario over the course of several summers, and I can say both for the campers and for the counselors themselves, those are crucial experiences, not only in their faith development and journey, but also in being able to understand what volunteerism looks like, being able to understand what mentorship looks like with young people, and being able to have those conversations and enjoy the beauty of this incredible space. So I want to thank all those who have put so much time and energy into this particular beautiful build, but also those who for over 70 years have ensured that Cave Springs Camp is not just something that's recognized, but celebrated as a true community leader when it comes to ensuring that children in Ontario, children in Niagara region have the opportunity for a remarkable experience, a summer camp experience. As Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister of Education, I'm also very happy to be part of this community program that invests in the intellectual, physical, and spiritual development of young people. We know that since 1951, Cave Springs Camp has been offering young people a unique summer camp experience, and in recent years, a broader number of vibrant year-round community programs through the Retreat and Conference Center. I know that the opening of this space will ensure that that continues to be expanded in meaningful ways. Now, Al mentioned it, and I want to just acknowledge the incredible work that has gone on at your team's level, working with the Ontario Trillium Foundation to ensure that they are recently securing a successful application through the Community Building Fund for $50,000 to ensure that this is able to continue, as well as one-time payments through the Ontario Small Business Support Grant. So with that, I wish to just thank you all for being here and ensure that as you move forward beyond just this day, but into the days to come, we're able to continue working together to ensure that it's not just here for another 70 years, but perhaps beyond. So God bless you all, and thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Sam, and thank you for being brief. Appreciate it. Some of us are accused of that, and I know this is going to make one of our fellow board members smile, and as he rolls his eyes in the back of his head, when I'm going to say that I'm going to make a couple brief comments. Right, David Wood? First, an additional thank you to everyone for being here on what is certainly a questionable afternoon from a weather standpoint. Hopefully it continues at this light drizzle and allows us to complete things without getting totally soaked. But also thank you to our other donors, as David has acknowledged. We will be having a full donor event in 2022 to acknowledge all of the donors, both big and small. Also to our board members who have worked tirelessly, and the other volunteers who have worked tirelessly, and a shout out to our staff. Sharon Miller, I'm not sure where Kristen is. Chris, over to the right. Over to the right, right behind the plant, Kristen. Our venue planner, and the lady who's trying to start the process of getting this facility fully rentable and rented, which is a challenge in the economic and COVID environment that we currently are. And on that note, the sort of promo here, we as the board Cave Springs Camp Retreat and Conference Center have a really difficult task in front of us, because we're looking at converting this organization to a broader base, to both continue to serve in an appropriate manner the needs of the camp and the children, and to expand our programs. And we want to try and expand those programs into all season. And as was said, was previously acknowledged to Alex and some of the people who have grown up through the system, they were the ones that had the vision that we needed to get to a 12-month facility so that we can expand our programs. Now our challenge is to expand those programs and to fill the building with appropriate programming. Anyway, on that note, we still are going to be looking for more donors and more donations. We will have a couple people at the back of the building adjacent to the refreshment area. So anybody who is so inclined, please see either Elizabeth or Jim Reyes, our treasurer there. Consider us in your end-of-year donations. So, it's now time to set up for the ribbon cutting here. Sharon, you got the ribbon. So I'm going to ask the dignitaries up here, Jim, Rob, Sam, Brenda, Cheryl Ann, and Alex. Can I get you to come up here and join us as well? Sharon is going to, and I'm going to ask us to spread out at about 8-foot intervals so that we acknowledge the rules that we currently living by. It's going to go from the post
All the way down.
maybe a couple of, we need some.
While we set up, I'd like to also acknowledge another staff member, Jim Don.
Thank you.
Who took pictures throughout construction, and there's a slideshow in Hoxie Hall with about 20 pictures of the partially built building.
You can probably stay there. Oh, okay. All right, we want people spread it.
Alec? Sam? Yeah.
I'll go over the end, yeah.
Oh, it's a long ribbon. It's a wide building. Okay. You got the scissors?
I thought when we
Sharon has the scissors.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
5, 6, 7.
Hold on to your piece there, Dad.
Walk around the podium a
Absolutely.
little
Here,
bit.
do you want to?
Oh, hand it off.
Thank you. Here. Thank you.
You got some more? You know what?
Is your glasses plugged up or not? You have a good one, it doesn't do that.
Not with this one, but yeah, we don't have to. It's an N95?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so David,
Good luck to you.
it's time.
I'm pleased to welcome you into our new building, and there's tours planned. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, look, you can use this again, yeah, multiple times.
Yeah, we'll just use it shorter next time.
We're going to sell it.
I'm for auction.
So,
For $200,000, it's going.
with Kristen. Kristen? There you are. So, we're now going to adjourn. We're going to have those up here on the platform, we welcome you into the building to have a short tour, and you will be exiting on the lower level at the back, and there's then going to be refreshments under the pavilion at the back of the building. For others who, I'm going to encourage anyone who is going to be here at another time this weekend, either tomorrow during the open house or Sunday at the dedication service, to undertake a tour at that point. But anyone who doesn't plan to be here is welcome to come to the front here, and we will run 2 or 3 additional tours in groups of about six people, to the extent that we need them. Anyway, thank you. As I said, welcome you either to a tour or to the refreshment area at the back of the building under the pavilion, where the little bit of spitting that is going on, we won't be affected by it. Thank you.